Hi guys, I'm sorry that this is going to be in low quality, but I completely forgot to film video and I'm not about to go set up my camera in my room when I can just talk to my computer, because that's cool. I can do that. I haven't done this in a while. And if you hear the weird noises, my mom has like this weird like cleaning thing in our washing machine that makes loud noises when it's going through the washing machine. So that's what the banging sound is, if you can hear that. I don't know if the camera mic on this thing is that great. But I've been rambling for 30 seconds. The theme this week is all about genealogy and where our family came from. And I wish I would have prepared for this more, because there's like so much to this that I actually really, really like. Several members of my family have actually like gone on like genealogy websites and like recovered old like documents and stuff from like Ellis Island, and names of people like who were in our family and like who was married to whom and like who came over together, and it's very complicated but very cool, and I am very interested in all of this. I might make a video on my own channel talking about it because it's just so cool. Like, my family, my mom's side of the family, they are, or my mom is 75% Norwegian and 25% German. My grandfather is half German, half Norwegian, and my grandma was all Norwegian, like all Norwegian. Like, my family is so freaking Norwegian, you guys. Most of my family, at least on my mom's side, live in Minnesota, and they are like the most Minnesotan, Norwegian, Lutheran family you could think of. It's amazing. I love my family. And like every time we actually go to Minnesota to visit family, my mom, she takes us on what she calls cemetery day, where we go and see all of our dead relatives at all of the several cemeteries in rural Minnesota. It's the weirdest idea in the world, but it's actually really cool. I mean, I like creepy things and old things, so it's all sorts of mixture of all that. And I mean, there's a lot of relatives there because my mom's family is quite old, because my grandma was actually about 17, 20 years younger than all of her sisters, because she was their half-sister. And so all of my grandparents, or all my grandma's sisters and all of her relatives are much older than her, so I have a very, very old family. Like, my great aunt was 97 when she died, like 5 years ago. Yeah, my family's old. But I love it. I love having a family full of old people because it makes life so much more interesting, because they have so much wisdom and stories to tell. Like, one of my favorite things about going to Minnesota is just hearing my grandpa's siblings just tell stories about either each other or like other people who were part of the family circle, like friends or whatever, because they are the funniest people that I know. I love my grandpa's siblings. My Aunt Judy is one of the funniest people ever. Like, oh my god, like, she doesn't mean to be funny, but she is, because she doesn't know that she's funny. Like, she'll come over and she's like, I don't have an accent. No, no, Christy, I don't have an. Yes, you do, Aunt Judy. Like, I will actually develop an accent when I'm around her or when we come home from Minnesota. And they make Minnesota salad, which is basically pudding and Cool Whip and some sort of marshmallow thing. That's not really all about my genealogy. That's about my family. But my mom's side of the family is, there's a lot of them, and I mean, there's so much stuff to delve into because there are so many family members. Like, my grandpa has two sisters and three brothers, several of which, no, actually, only one of his brothers has died. All of his other siblings are alive. But when there was another baby that was born before my grandpa, so that was one of the things that we actually went and did on cemetery day last time we went, and we went and found an unmarked grave at one of the cemeteries, where this baby was, and then we went into another cemetery where there was another baby, an older one or something, and it was overgrown, and there were no headstones, and it was super weird, but like cool and historical, and I really, really love that about like my mom and like my mom's family, because there is so much to it. Like, I could talk for like an hour talking about my mom's family because they love talking about and exploring it, and we love talking about and exploring it because it is just so fascinating. Like, it's incredibly fascinating. And I wish that there was more to that for my dad's family because my grandma, like my dad's mom, has like 11 brothers and sisters, but she only talks to like half of them, and we never see most of them, and we don't know about her heritage. Like, I know she has like Swedish and like Scottish and like Native American somewhere in there. I don't know. Like, I don't know much about my dad's family, to be honest, which is kind of sad, like, because my dad's biological dad, actually, we don't know him. Like, we know who he is, but he left my grandma when my dad was like 3, and then my grandma got married again, and then he adopted my dad and his siblings, so my grandpa is not my biological grandfather. Like, my biological last name should be Anderson, not Williamson, and I mean, that in itself is interesting, because I'd be like, I have relatives I don't even know. Like, there's a quarter of my bloodline and I have no clue what it is. Like, I mean, I don't know a lot about my grandmother's bloodline. Like, we never really talk about it or explore it. I wish we did. Because there's a lot, like, she's all sorts of mixture, and, I mean, her parents and grandparents, like, they were here, but, like, I wish I knew more about it. Because, like, my mom's grandma, my mom's grandparents, did they come over from Norway? It was either my mom's grandparents that came over from Norway or her great-grandparents that came over from Norway. And then they all settled in Minnesota, where they all stayed, pretty much, except my grandparents who moved over. It's actually a cool story. My grandparents lived, like, 30 miles away from each other in Minnesota, but they didn't meet each other until they both moved here to Washington, and it's super adorable. Like, when we go there, like, we'll see his where he lived and his house, his old house, and all of his old, like, landmarks, and then we'll go see hers, which aren't that far, but they didn't know each other while they lived there, and that's still pretty cool. Like, that we can see all of my mom's family in Minnesota, like, within 50 miles of each other, pretty much. I mean, like, we finally went to the Twin Cities last time we were there, where my mom's cousin lives, who is, like, 25 years older than her. So that's how you know, like, my family is old, because my mom's cousin is 25 years older than her, on my mom's side. My mom's side of my grandpa's, or my mom's my grandpa's side, there's so many people in my family, you guys. Like, there's so many people because my grandmother had 3 sisters and then a brother who died at birth, but that happened a lot back in the day. And then my grandpa has 5 siblings, so I have all these second cousins and third cousins and so many cousins, and I love it because it makes life a lot more interesting having a large extended family. I like having a large extended family. I like having kind of a small immediate family, like my cousins, my immediate first cousins, there aren't that many of them. And then I just have one sister, so that's easy, but I like having a large extended family because they're fun and funny. My Minnesota cousins are some of my favorite people in the whole world because they are so different and funny and fun and nice. Like, people from Minnesota are, like, the nicest people you will ever meet. Like, if you ever come to America, if any of you guys ever come to the United States, go to Minnesota and you will be amazed at how nice everybody is. It's flabbergasting. Like, everybody I've ever met from Minnesota is inexplicably nice. I don't understand, but it's perfect. So, yeah. I'm damn Norwegian. So that is really... I mean, I wish I knew more about my dad's side of my family, though. That'd be cool. But I hope this was not too rambly. It's 1:45. So, I'm going to finish watching Project Runway, because I'm watching that now. So, sorry this was unedited, but I'll see you guys next week. Bye!